You guys, there's a kingdom and it's lost, and Aquaman is going to find it. Aquaman of the Lost Kingdom.
I thought Aquaman knew where the Lost Kingdom was. Doesn't he know every depth of the sea?
You'd think, but there's always a Lost Kingdom out there waiting for you if you just know where to look.
You guys subscribe if you're not already. This is one of our last reviews of 2023 because we're so dedicated, you guys. We love you so much, and we're such completists that we can't imagine a DC or a Marvel movie coming out and us not having really witty and thoughtful insights on it for you. So come hang out with us, plus awards season. We got The Color Purple and Aquaman this week. We contain multitudes here.
Yeah.
At breakfast all day.
I'm gonna kill Aquaman. Even if I have to make a deal with the devil to do it.
It's a sequel to Aquaman, which came out 5 years ago. Thankfully, there was a previously on Aquaman.
I know, I needed one.
I needed one. It had been a while. Aquaman's dad now. And so he is juggling all the wacky dad stuff of, trying to be the king of the deep, but also like having to change diapers. There are so many pee jokes in this within just the first few minutes. I'm like, dude, you're a smart guy. You're a strong guy. There's a very easy way when you're changing a baby boy's diaper to avoid having it pee in your face.
And it's not they just do the joke once. Oh, no. They love it so much they do it multiple times.
And there are variations on it.
I'll give them that.
So he's a dad, but the bad guy from the previous movie, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, is now back for revenge. And there's something to do with this underwater, like deep underwater realm that is thought to be lost. And Randall Park, as a scientist, inadvertently helped to find it. But there's dangerous stuff down there, including like a supernatural bad guy that you can conjure when you take the two pieces of the trident and put them together. And right, he makes your eyes glow green, which is never a good thing. And so Aquaman has to fight this creature who has given these evil powers, but he can only do it if he seeks out his brother, played by Patrick Wilson, who was supposed to be king, but has been exiled and imprisoned. So they have to get him out. And because he looks all emaciated and shaggy, they get to make a castaway joke. Can I just tell you how hard I roll my eyes at all of the pop culture references? There's one sentence in which he has a Loki and a Harry Potter reference in the same breath.
Yeah, it's a lot in this movie. And here's the thing. I enjoyed the first Aquaman because you could sense that it was a movie that knew how dumb it was. This is a movie that's about a superhero who talks to fish and that has an octopus that plays the drums and a sea monster with the voice of Julie Andrews. Like, this was a movie that got its lane. And this time around, like, the banter is so bad. Like, there's a part where one of the bad guys is in this craft and then like somebody else manages to like bring it down. And just at the moment right before it crashes, her big like quippy, oh no line is, "You've got to be kidding me." Like, no sitcom writer's room would let that one through. They'd be like, no, do better. Come up with something else. But, and like Jason Momoa is a quippy guy. He can be, he's this visual presence, but he also has a sense of humor, and the lines they give him are not funny.
No. And
when he does get to show some spark of stuff, Patrick Wilson is such a, you'll pardon the expression, wet blanket in this movie that they have no kind of comedic rapport or chemistry at all. I've never been this bored in a superhero movie, I don't think. I've certainly never been this bored in a James Wan movie.
Yeah.
Everybody feels like they're just phoning the sucker in.
And there's the thing that we also saw in the Marvels, which you liked better than I did, but there's no sense of perspective in terms of the big action sequences, right? As far as who's doing what to whom, where, because it's underwater, so much of it is like a swooshy blur, a splashy blur that you don't know who is where in relation to anybody else. And so the stakes and the tension are totally gone, right? As far as like being able to see, you can't see it, and so you can't connect with it. And the effects look terrible. I got to talk about how distracted I was by how old everybody is in this movie. And I know this is true with the original as well. I don't recall what we thought about the original. I thought it was fun.
I don't know if we reviewed it. I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
We didn't review it here because the YouTube channel didn't really exist released yet, but we reviewed it on the earliest incarnations of the podcast back
Gotcha.
when we were still at my dining room table at my old apartment. So I didn't go back and listen to it. I recall that it's fun because Jason Momoa is a lot of fun, as you say. He's irreverent, he's charming. So let's do some math. So Patrick Wilson's supposed to be Jason Momoa's younger brother, but he's 6 years older. And then Nicole Kidman's their mom, but she's only 6 years older than Patrick Wilson. Did she have him when she was 6? Is the sea just preserving her skin majestically?
Look, Angela Lansbury was only like 4 or 5 years older than Lawrence Harvey when she did The Manchurian Candidate. So sometimes he's got to throw stuff out the window. You do get to see underwater Nicole Kidman riding a robot shark. And somehow even that didn't make me love this movie anymore. It just was like, yeah, okay.
I took Nick with me, and at one point I'm like, wait a minute, is that an octopus riding a seahorse? He goes, yes, it is. But that makes this movie sound fun.
Yes, but it's not. It's not. They put so much effort into like making everybody's hair float, you know. But the writing is so bad. The tone is all over the place. Like again, James Wan. You know, he's the guy who gave us the Conjuring movies. He's the guy who gave us Malignant, Fast 7, you know, the original Saw, like all these films that like he gets like pop filmmaking. And even here, like I never got that sense of like discovery or whimsy or wit or excitement. It's a lot of butt shifting in this.
Also, it's brought to you by Guinness, apparently.
Yes.
Because they have product placement early and often.
Frequently.
Jason Momoa and Tamura Morrison like sit there, like they're at a table and there's physically a can of Guinness in between them.
Always label the camera.
Right. And they pause and they go, take a sip and go, It's shameless. I mean, not as shameless as our product placement here on Breakfast All Day, where if we were to recommend a beer, for example, it would be the delicious non-alcoholic beer from our friends at Athletic Brewing Company, because it's the holidays and maybe you want to go to a party and have a little bit of fun and drive home and not be drunk, or just, you know, you're starting the new year off with a dry January test trial.
Yeah.
Athletic Brewing Company can get you through that. The code we have with them is Breakfast All Day. Our discount is 10% all the time, but they have some great dry January deals going on. So go check them out down below. See, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Come on, Jason Momoa. Take a page.
I was bored. Nick was bored. Nick was slumping in his seat and his head was like resting on my shoulder, and he was so out of it that he jerked. So deeply out.
There was at least one moment where I was like, if I wasn't reviewing this, I would just close my eyes and it would be
drift away. And Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, who is a formidable presence, who is a great actor, does not get a whole lot to do here because so much of it is behind the bug eye helmet.
Right. Which has always been a cool superhero outfit. But yeah, he doesn't get enough to do. Randall Park's character seems to be almost exactly like Harvey Guillen's character in Blue Beetle, where he's the henchman with a conscience who sort of helps save the day. Spoiler, but are there spoilers? There are not spoilers. And again, Blue Beetle, we had fun at. That was a charming movie where they figured out a way to throw some character in to make it not just another superhero movie. And I feel like this is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is the kind of superhero movie that makes people who don't know the genre think that all superhero movies are stupid and loud and excessive, because it is. It's it's the epitome of what people who don't like superhero movies think a superhero movie is.
And it's very, very rarely ever thrilling, if at all. And it lurches really awkwardly between humor and the action and what are meant to be really serious emotional stakes. Now that
climate change metaphor, we get it. We get it.
Climate change metaphor, yes, and we agree this is a serious problem.
Yes.
But I don't know that this Aquaman sequel is going to change anybody's mind about recycling or buying a giant truck.
Doubt it.
So, and then there's a really terrible mid-credit sequence. There's not anything at the very, very end, but midway through, it doesn't add anything. It's not terribly funny.
It circles back to a joke that wasn't all that great the first time.
It was not. And then partway through the movie, it becomes Jumanji. It literally becomes Jumanji. And that was kind of a cool idea. It's an isolated cool idea, but one that we've seen a lot. So what's your number then? What would you say?
I gave it a 3. This is just a waste of time. And from people who have done this character better and told these kind of stories better. I don't really know about this writer, but certainly James Wan and Jason Momoa can and have and will do better than this.
I'm going to say one. This is going to end up in my worst of 2023 list for sure. So this is how the DC extended universe ends, is with this this big wet flop.
Ooh, an official whimper then.